I think white people are the only race of people that like to be scared for fun. Like, you feel me? Not an attack. Doesn't make you bad. Makes you interesting. But not bad, but bungee jumping, skydiving, swimming with sharks, these are torture tactics. Some of you pay for them. That's a curveball. I just think white people get to have a different relationship with fear. Doesn't make anyone bad, I just think it's an interesting observation. White people can have a different relationship with fear. Like, I think white people are the only people you could walk up to and just be like, hey, you wanna do something scary today? And y'all won't just outright say no. You feel me? You'll be like, well, what do you got in mind?
One thing I love about these kind of stories is everyone can interpret them uniquely for themselves. So a great example is if you ever watch professional athletes, some of them dig Jesus. And you'll know if they do because when they do something cool, often they've made a deal with Jesus where they're like, hey man, if I hit a triple today, I will demonstrably send you my thanks in front of everybody. And so they do, like if they hit a triple and they slide in and they're like, fuck yeah. And they take off their gloves and then they'll tap out a Morse code message on their chest and then they do punctuation, send. Watch for it. Now that I've pointed it out, you'll start to see it. And it's pretty cool. I mean, that's just one example, but people are doing this in every walk of life, and I find it inspiring.
We walked on eggshells around her. She'd come down the steps in the morning, we'd be like, who is it? I don't know. And it happened when she was about 16 or 17, she turned on me on a dime. And I truly believe that God allows this because he knows that you're grieving because they're going to go to college or whatever they're going to do, and he makes them just as mean as he can so that you can let them go. The very breath that I breathed out of my nostrils made her so angry. We were not allowed to eat cereal in our own home because she couldn't stand to hear us chew it. And I don't mean to talk about her because she had a lot on her. She had to empty the dishwasher. That was a lot.
Look, ladies, a guy can have a girl that is just a friend. No, listen. I'll wait. You as a girl can be just a friend to a guy, but it means you're ugly. I'm sorry, I know you don't want to hear it, but you just a homie with a ponytail. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Men and women can be just friends, but one of y'all fucking busted, okay? Somebody ugly, or maybe both. Maybe both of you are ugly, in which case y'all should be fucking anyways. That's why it's called bumping uglies.
He's also the first guy I've ever been with who has had a vasectomy. So I had some questions about that. I was like, when you finish, is it clear? Like that white Gatorade flavor? Just have Glacier Frost on tap? What's going on? I was just trying to prepare myself. I was like, does it taste better when there aren't kids in it? It's like, or maybe it's just air, right? Like one of those pressurized keyboard dusters that's like, psh, you're like, oh. It startles you. You gotta point it away or you'll lose an eye. And maybe fix a tire. Finally, I just went Bill Nye on his ass. I was like, I am blowing you in the name of science. This is field research at this point. And turns out it's like normal. I guess it's kind of like Beyond Burger. looks the same. And then once it's in your mouth, you're like, something's missing. This is like diet cum.
So it was new, and he was like nervous, and he goes, well, here's what's happening. Your lungs are filling up with fluid, and you have double pneumonia and corona. So I look at the doctor and go, what's that mean? He goes, well, it's gonna go really good, or really bad. And we'll know in about 2 days. And then it started to sink in. I go, whoa, 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 this is serious. I'm gonna make it, right? He looks me straight in the eye and goes, we'll try our best. Yo. You always want people to try their best, right? But you never want someone to tell you they're trying their best. You ever drop your car off to a mechanic, pick it up, and you're like, hey man, did you fix my brakes? And the dude's like, yeah, you know what, we tried our best.
Sometimes I go to the bathroom and I sit down and I'm like, oh man, forgot my phone. Now you just gotta sit there all bored. I wonder what my phone is doing. I have crown molding? Oh, somebody needs to clean in here.
It's the power of being a lady, right? You never done that. You never stalked a dude. You ever stalk a dude? Huh? You ever be sitting there and go, here you go, right here. Hey, Robert. Where you come from? It's the power of being a lady. Would you say you're the single one?
Yes.
All right. 2 qualities a man has to possess to gain your interest.
I go more than 2.
Huh?
I go more than 2.
But I didn't ask you that. There you go, a white woman trying to take over the conversation. I was very specific about what the fuck I asked you. I didn't ask you about your whole fucking list. I said 2. You want to narrow it?
Yeah. Honest.
Ooh. All right. Honest and not lazy. All right, we see the type of dudes you've been messing with. Any single fellas in here fit the requirements?
I love making stuff. I'm 47 years old, and I've been blessed with a healthy, happy relationship for sneaking up on 18 years, which is amazing and wonderful. And also, P.S., it's not fucking Disneyland. Like, we're 2 people living together. Any 2 people maintaining a close relationship, you're gonna like scream at each other at some point about who left the lid off the Tupperware. That's how people work. So I mean, whether it's your mom and dad or your roommate or your sibling or your spouse, getting 10 years under your belt is astonishing. Now, a good friend of mine has not been so lucky. He got married around the same time, and his relationship ended recently. So he's doing his best, but he's at this weird middle-aged place where he has to start dating again. And it's tricky because when we were young, finding the loves of our lives, they didn't call it dating, they called it courting. We didn't have the internet, let alone smartphones and all that, so you had to actually just imagine. You had to take your body to another place where other people had brought their bodies so that the bodies could assess one another, which is inconvenient, certainly, but it has its advantages, one of which is you can use all 5 senses when you're actually in the physical proximity of the people you're considering. So maybe they look and sound great, but they don't smell so friendly. Your phone can't tell you that. But he's being told that he needs to use modern technology. When we were young, you would just basically go to a barn raising or a hog killing. At a barn raising, that's hard work. So you just wait and see who's the last person standing, and you marry that son of a bitch. And at a hog killing, it doesn't take long for the ground to be covered in gore and effluvia, and everybody ends up slipping into somebody's arms, and that becomes your spouse. It was a much simpler time. Now they're telling him he's got to use these social dating apps. Now I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm going to lay a little 411 on you. Apps is short for applications. That's just the beginning. What I'm gonna throw down here, you can trust, is totally super 100 fire emoji. My shit is tight AF. But you know the apps I'm talking about: Tinder for straight couples, Grindr for gay men. There's a new one called Attractor, which is for lonely farmers, I can only imagine. And he's trying it, and I have good friends that found romance, so it's not to say it can't be done, but my friend, who's old-fashioned, he's said that it feels cheap. He feels like he's shopping for shoes, and he needs to go places to meet people, so he's been looking for things to go to, among which he found in downtown LA a workshop called Bake Amazing Cookies. And I say, let me stop you right there, Richard. Of course you should go to Bake Amazing Cookies. That's the trick. It's gonna work out way better if they find you, because if you're out there on the make, you're trying too hard, it's never gonna work out. But if they find you, and the way to get them to find you is to trick yourself into forgetting you want them to find you. And the way to do that is to engage in something that you love so passionately that you forget. You're like, oh, fuck, the whole field of melons. What's that? Oh, yes, hi, I am single. Now, I have to be conclusive proof of this theory. I'm going to use this chair because I'm married so fucking far up. Okay, let's see. Remember where this hand is? That's how far up I'm married. And I still can't wrap my head around it, so let me set the scene for you just a little bit. Let me take you all the way back to the year 2000, when my wife Megan and I met doing a play in Los Angeles. Megan had just finished the first 2 seasons of the Will and Grace television program. You're goddamn right about that. Now, in the year 2000, television was created by companies called networks, and they would make packages of episodes they called seasons. Trust me, look it up. Each season generally consisted of 24 episodes. So she had finished the first 48 episodes of Will and Grace, or the equivalent of 8 seasons of Aziz's show. Right? It's a crazily different, quantifiable time. So across these first 2 seasons, Will and Grace they'd gone through the quickening of the Highlander, where like they had become the stag and run across the beach with Sean Connery, and the world was like, holy shit, you are the greatest. And they had become the celebrated comedy legends we know them to be. Megan, in fact, was about to win her first Emmy a few months after we met. I was living beneath my friend's house in a dirt and stone space in exchange for turning it into a space that could be inhabited by a civilized human who you could then get to pay rent. The entire space was dirt with foundation walls. I could urinate flamboyantly and freely. Like I'd put on music to pee too. I had all my moves. And the next morning, you could not discern that it had taken place. That was the only good thing about living there. So Megan and I were at very different places when it comes to personal hygiene, if nothing else, when we met. But my secret was I was also working for this theater company. They had bought a warehouse and were building a theater into this warehouse. So I was working for them as a carpenter. And the day that Megan and I met, the first day of rehearsal, I had been there working for 8 hours, swinging a hammer. So when we first encountered each other, I was covered in a patina of sweat and sawdust and satisfaction. I was wearing a tool belt. And so I can't, this is my best speculative guess. I can only imagine that whatever glow was coming off of my ursine features because I had just built a stage had to somehow sway her. And so combining that knowledge and trying to justify it with the experience of seeing myself in a mirror, it's just really hard to reconcile. And so I said to my friend, of course you should go to fucking Bake Amazing Cookies, because guess who's not coming to Bake Amazing Cookies? Married people. It's gonna be single people, either out for fun, baking freaks, but probably people looking for romance. You're gonna be in some cool room that's going to be warm and thickly redolent of baking cookies. Even if you strike out and don't find romance, the worst case scenario is you'll have tricked yourself into baking delicious cookies. Again, it's all looking away from the fucking phone and looking into life and where nature is in life. That's look inside yourself, see what you can nourish and cause to fully bush. And maybe it's fruit, maybe it's vegetable, maybe it's weavable, maybe it's smokable. Whatever it is, someone might want to consume it. Or you just eat cookies. But if you do something that you're passionate about, chances are, even if you're not looking for a spouse, you know how that is. When you see somebody doing something they love and that's their thing, that's when they're the most charismatic. And you could just be watching a plumber nimbly replace the wax ring beneath your toilet, and there's just something, if he loves it, you'll find yourself thinking, that guy's all right. I don't know what it is, but I like him.
And I was raised old-timey Methodist. And my people are kind of superstitious, and there was like no gambling. You could play rook. There was no alcohol in our house, never had alcohol until we were trying to get her married off. And she married this hoop-de-doo man that owned part of a winery, and so we all started drinking. Yeah, and my little mama had never had alcohol, and she drank a glass of wine and got out of my car, and she goes, I can't feel my arms.
In this country, we attribute daddy issues to women all the time. We'll say things like, oh, that younger woman's dating that older man, she has daddy issues. Oh, she's working at a strip club, she clearly has daddy issues. I bet some women do, but I guarantee every single man of all time has daddy issues. And if you're sitting next to a man that just leaned over and goes, I don't, then he's got the worst kind. Right? Those are the stabby ones. And you're gonna wanna watch your ass. You might think, what about mommy issues? Mommy issues don't destroy men like daddy issues do. If a guy has mommy issues, he marries a bitch. If we could just take some time to appreciate all the men staring straight forward right now. I should roller coaster cam you guys right in the face. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a bird dog convention. You're just like, I would not move my neck for $1 million. Please say something else. My ear's hot. I can feel her looking at me. Please, Chad, say more things. But it's true. Guy has mommy issues and marries a bitch. Guy has daddy issues. There's a good chance at some time in his life he will be described as the shooter. Here's the thing. I don't even need you to laugh at that one. I don't, but I do need you to hear it. Because I'm telling you, daddy issues destroy dudes. You ever seen a grown man pounding a nail into something and he hits his own thumb? And he's like, "You fucking idiot!" That's his dad talking to him. Right? That's not anger, that's a memory. You ever seen those two guys at the movie theater that leave that empty space in between them? It's for one of their dads that never made it to a game. I can't, hold on. A lot of you are laughing, but I can see some of you like, covering your face. Hey, I would never tell someone how to react to comedy because it is subjective. But I would just recommend not wasting any empathy on these two losers at the theater. What do you need an empty space in between you for? You've been best friends since the 4th grade, and you think tonight, at the new Keanu movie, that your clothed arm is gonna touch his clothed arm, and you're just gonna have to butt fuck? Really? Is that right? Is that what's happening? I don't believe you. You're gonna reach for the pop at the same time, and your hairy knuckles are gonna touch? And that's the spark you've been missing? You're just like, oh, it sends shivers up my spine. You feel that? You feel it too? Ah, I thought you might have. Why don't you hop over on my lap and we'll make our own Lego movie? Homophobia is the biggest daddy issue of them all. It has to be. Think of how many boys in high school never go into choir that have angelic voices because they're scared to get teased by these fucking homophobic people in their grade. Because I remember that, right? People be like, I think I'm gonna sign up for choir. And another guy'd be like, oh yeah? Well, let me know if you need me to jizz on your vocal cords. Cool them off for the concert. I mean, that's how it was. And you'd always think, yeah, singers never get laid. What the fuck? Mick Jagger's 100 and he has a baby from yesterday, probably. And homophobia is intense, and still. 2021, it's still intense, and I don't even understand why. You hear people lose their shit like, if these Fruit Loops would just stop shoving their lifestyle in my face. Anytime I hear anything that aggressive, I always think, the call is coming from inside the closet. I mean, nobody wants to kiss you on your underbite, you ape. Relax. I can't speak for the gay community, but I have to assume no one wants to lick skull off of bottom teeth, right? And here's what confuses me. It's always like, if those Fruit Loops wouldn't shove their lifestyle in my face, now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go tell this woman that I don't know she needs to carry her baby to full term. It's always the same fucking guy.
And I've had the deadly peanut allergy for most of my life. So for the 8 years we were together, he had to stop eating peanut products because if he did and then kissed me, my throat could close. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, what's it like to eat peanut butter again? He goes, oh man, we should have broken up a long time ago. I don't even blame him. Have you had peanut butter? I can't compete with that. I hate that the person I'm with has to give that up. That puts way too much pressure on me to be worth the trade-off, right? Like, you're gonna rob a man of Reese's for the rest of his life? Pff, bitch, you better be pretty open-minded in the bedroom. Gonna make a man stop swallowing something delicious. Well, get ready to start swallowing something gross.
Anybody watch Game of Thrones? Yes. House of Dragons? Yes. Oh, I love that stuff, man. You know what I love about it? I love the language. Yeah, Old English cuts way deeper than regular English. Old English shows you if you put the right words together, you can say some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kev, because I know him. If you grab my hand, I say, get the fuck off of me, right? Effective, right? But if you grab my hand, I go, unhand me. That's a whole nother level to get the fuck up off of me. You can't unhand, you've already handed. Ladies, you should try it. All y'all ladies had experiences with the creepy dude who won't get out your face. Yeah, because you're using regular English. Yeah, slip a little old English on his ass. I bet he'll bounce. Right, next time that happens, just take one step back and look him up and down and be like, can you remove yourself from my presence? The stench of your desperation sickens me. Not even in my darkest hour would I entertain such a pity of a man. Oh, God damn. Some of y'all women been with a dude, you support all his dreams, he don't support none of yours. Yeah, try it in Old English. Right? Just roll up on him and just start off real nice with him. I have been the wind that carried you towards your dreams as mine were cast aside. Using your stars to navigate your world, but none of mine. Well, my winds have ceased. And I shall blow no more. I think they about to break up. Language cuts deeper, man. That's how you gotta talk to her sometimes. Remember Hamlet? Get thee to a nunnery. I love that. But you know the story of Hamlet, if you don't know it, Hamlet was a good dude, right? He was in college in Denmark. His father died. Actually, his uncle killed him, but he didn't know that. Till he got home, and then when he got home to the funeral, he saw his mama sitting there with his uncle. And he's like, what the fuck is going on here? In less than a month, she married him. So immediately he was like, nah. So before Snoop Dogg, Hamlet was like, I don't love these hoes. That's why Ophelia was talking about marriage. He treated her so bad because he hated his mother so much. That's what Get Thee to a Nunnery was about. And then he says, get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt need marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well what monsters you make of them. That's a wow. Damn. He ain't never getting married. Don't you ever bring that shit up again. Yeah, you want that shit. The language is good, yeah? Try it sometime. Yeah, instead of calling your woman and say, hey, come hither. Now get over here, bitch. It's all in the language. I wish I had a dragon. Do you know how many people I would burn the fuck up? What? Yes. any slight piece of attitude. How much is this? I said it's $10.99, sir. Oh yeah? Dracarys! Burn that. bitch. One word, Dracarys. He's like, yeah, I got you, yo. It's good. It's good energy, man. Hey, R. Kelly got 30 years. 30 years. Oh, karma don't never fail, do it? She always come back. But the problem is, we all complicit. We knew all was fucked up. From day one. Remember the tape? I still got that shit on cassette. It came in a red sleeve. I got it from downtown Brooklyn. Yeah, the beat on the little girl we knew from then. He married a 15-year-old girl. Aaliyah was 15. And then when he wrote a song for her, what was the song? Age ain't nothing but a number. He was speaking through her. Yeah, he confessed, but we wasn't listening. Because his confession wasn't called one. His confession was bump and grind. Yeah, we thought it was a sex song, but nah, he couldn't do it like that. It wasn't like Usher's confession. His shit was called confession. And he got to the point immediately. Right? He had two of them. And Usher's confession, music started in the beginning. Right? Ooh, the first one. Ooh. That sounds like somebody scared to say what they gotta say. But he was completely honest. Ladies, y'all be saying y'all want honesty? Straight off the top. Everything that I've been doing is all bad. Everything? I got a chick on the side with a crib and a ride. I've been telling you so many lies. Ain't none good, it's all bad. Damn! Everything is so bad. Then you thought that was enough? At the end of the first one, he goes, I know you hate me. I know I did you wrong. There's more. See, the more was the side baby. But he was like, a piano ain't enough for the side baby. I need another instrument. He brought that guitar in for that second one. Once again, started with music. Remember the video? He was sitting in the silhouette. Right? He was tapping his foot on the ground because he got some shit. This side baby is not easy to tell. She's like, what now? These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she got one on her way. These are my confessions. Damn, I'm throwed and I don't know. Part two. The funny shit was the next line, he goes, if I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. What the fuck you think she did when you told her she had a side baby? Confessions. Stated clearly and presented. Oh, I didn't do that. Right? Bump and Grind didn't start with no music. It started a cappella. And it started with somebody in distress. Right? This is supposed to be a sex song. And the first thing he said was, my mind's telling me no. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Then it got worse and worse. But my body telling me no. That's some sexual predator shit like that. Your mind saying no, but your body saying yeah. Then it got scary. I don't want to hurt nobody. Who you hurting? But there's something that I must confess. Then he got quiet. I don't see nothing wrong. What? No, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that shit. Gotta listen. Don't listen to the music, listen to the words, man. Listen to the words, right? I never understood gangster rap. When you do crime, you're not supposed to tell nobody, right? But they tell all their criminal activities in the songs. You ever see the videos? They be in the video, selling crack and weed every day, right here, 35th Street. That's your block. His mother out the window, Reggie, come inside. Come inside. They love to say it in the mafia, 3-6 Mafia, Junior Mafia, all this type of shit, which is dumb. The mafia don't even admit they in the mafia, dumbass. Have you ever heard anybody in the mob rhyming in the history of hip hop? No. Remember when Christopher wrote a movie in The Sopranos? They killed him. Right? If they did rhyme, they would not incriminate themselves in their music. They should have been totally different. They'd be like, we don't kill nobody or have nobody killed. We're just chilling in this mansion at our hard work bill. We're fucking plumbers. Welcome to the union. Throw your wrench in the air. Tony's on construction. Johnny's on cement. Bobby does the plumbing. You're smart.
I went through a horrible breakup at the beginning of this last year, and I thought it was such a lull moment. I was like, this is such a lull in my life. Nothing positive is gonna come out of this, but I did some thinking. And it made me realize so much about myself. It made me think about the standards I wanted to set, but it also made me think about how much I fucking hate being single. This shit is so trash. It's so trash. People overhype the fuck out of being single, don't they? Especially the freedom aspect of it. As soon as you're single again, all your friends are like, oh, you can go sleep with whoever you want. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you couldn't before. Why could you now, all of a sudden? Also, that's not even like an appealing factor of being single to me. I don't like sleeping with a bunch of different people anyways, because I don't like, it's not fun. That's not fun, man. I don't like inconsistent feedback. Bro, my ego can't handle it, dog. I'm too fickle, okay? I need to know where I stand sexually at all times, okay? That's the best part of any long-term relationship. If you've been together long enough, you probably have pretty good sexual chemistry. It's why you stuck around. You like what they like what you like, meshes pretty well. The relationship that I ended earlier this year, that was the best part about it. We stayed together months after we should have, just because we had that sexual chemistry. It's a hard spark to walk away from. It's fun, makes you feel good about yourself. You know, I was getting my ego stroked daily. Like, how the fuck you walk away from that? It's so much fun. I knew with this girl, there was like a certain position I could put her in, and if I hit her with like the right move, just bow, then like, she couldn't handle that. Like, it was too much dick for her. She was like, oh, my stomach. And I'm like, shut up. Whatever. It is not in your stomach with your shallow guts. Whatever. I should call her. Man, don't call the ex. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Because sexual chemistry will make you ignore all the other red flags, the shit you should be paying attention to. Like my ex and I, we had great sexual chemistry, but our communication was fucking terrible. We could never talk anything out. If there was ever a point that I needed to get across to her, I would just have to like finger her in Morse code or something. I would just have to Then the next day, my boys are like, how'd the talk go? I'm like, it was terrible. This bitch just sat back and rolled her eyes at me the whole time. Luckily, I can read lips. Hate it. But, you know, single again. Back to the streets. Now I just gotta have sex with all these women. I don't want to do it. I'd rather be in a relationship personally, but somebody had fucking other plans. And I want y'all to think about that. The next time you're about to chastise a dude for being a fuckboy. Like, oh, you just a fuckboy. You out here sleeping with all these girls. You don't even want to be in a relationship. You're just a fuckboy. Maybe he's not a fuckboy. Maybe he's sad. Yeah. Maybe behind every fuckboy is a man who once loved too much. Or maybe that's exactly what a fuckboy would say. TBD. But while I'm single, I'm trying to use this time to be self-reflective, work on myself, think about what are some of the red flags I bring to the table. Is there something I could be working on? And a major red flag for me that's been brought to my attention that I didn't realize was as big of a deal as it is. And it's, in relation to the climate we live in today. And that red flag is that apparently I'm not very PC. I'm not very politically correct. Sorry, I don't know if that term made it down here yet or not. Y'all don't seem to give a fuck. So, and when I say that, I just mean like I'm not one of those people who tries so fucking hard to like prove how woke, what a good person I am. Because that shit comes across as so disingenuous and corny to me. Like you're clearly pandering so hard. You can be a good person without it being your entire fucking personality. You know what I mean? It's so exhausting, man. As long as you know your heart's in the right place, you're doing the best that you can. You don't need to prove yourself on Twitter every fucking day. And obviously, I'm referencing the extremes, these like woke internet warriors or whatever you want to call them, these fucking losers who spend their whole life trying to cancel people on the internet. That shit pisses me off so much because they're ruining a good agenda. Cancel culture is not necessarily a bad thing. I get what they're trying to do is eradicate negativity in the world and get rid of some bad toxic shit, and we do need that. But a lot of that gets lost in translation when they carry it out because they themselves are such bitches, dog. Oh my God, bro. And that drives me insane because I'm on their side. I hate the same shit they hate. Off the top of my mind, I can think of homophobia. Homophobia is a massive pet peeve of mine because it doesn't fucking affect you. Who somebody else loves has nothing to do with you. And it is always the ugliest fucking dude who's the most homophobic, isn't it? The most toothless motherfucker from Corpus Christi. To be on some, I'm not with that gay shit. They're not with you either, bro. Have you met a gay guy? They're handsome. They're in good shape. They can fuck your girl so fast, okay? Be thankful they took a competitor off the board. I hate it so much, man. They're such a pain in the ass. And as you can imagine, you all have the internet. It makes our job incredibly difficult. Nobody's allowed to joke about anything anymore. Everyone wants to complain about every joke ever told. That's so frustrating because, you guys have been here the whole show. You know I have a pretty fucked up sense of humor. Like, I love dark shit. Like, the darker, the better to me. Like, I love that so much. Well, keep that same energy. I love fucked up stuff, but again, I'm okay making those jokes because I know my heart's in the right place. And even though I acknowledge that sense of humor isn't for everybody, I'm okay with that because I don't need to impress everybody. The same way you wouldn't try to be friends with everybody, right? You'll find your people as your life progresses. So it's like, yeah, I might get in trouble, or yeah, some people might not like the jokes that I tell, but I'm gonna tell the jokes that I wanna tell, and hopefully my audience will gravitate towards that, and we can all get along and have a fucking cool friendship, you know? And it gets tricky sometimes. I'll do jokes that a lot of people wouldn't want to tell or don't want to listen to sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll do jokes about like trans people because it's funny. Sometimes. Not in a disrespectful way. It's never disrespectful. I'm just making light of a situation so we can all laugh rather than be touchy and upset. That's all it is. And this is what's so funny. The energy in the room is exactly what I'm talking about. Subject matter is what triggers people. I haven't even said the joke yet. All I said was trans people, and everybody in here got a tight asshole. Everybody. Not you guys, but everybody else. Everybody else tighten the fuck up. This special is presented by Poppers. If you don't know what Poppers are, get you some gay friends, change your life. Change your life. But that's what I'm talking about. All I did was say a trigger word and people are automatically already uncomfortable. You guys are worried about being canceled just being in the room. Like, it's so funny to me. Because the jokes that I tell, they're never disrespectful. They're always with the utmost respect. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. They're just some jokes, just to say some goofy shit and make the world laugh. That's all. And people will still come up to me after shows saying the same angry rant every time. Just fucking, you cannot make jokes about trans people. So what they're going through is so incomparable, and you can't imagine how hard their life is and the shit that they have to go through. Therefore, you cannot make jokes about trans people. And I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. But the point that you're trying to make is you're saying, I can't make jokes about somebody because of how hard their life is. And you are making very valid points in that I don't know how hard that life is. I imagine it is tremendously harder than my life. I can't imagine how hard that is to go through, and I wish you the best of luck. But at the same time, to retort that argument, you also don't have the hardest life. You know who has life way harder than trans people that we never talk about? People in wheelchairs. Think about it. Comparatively, people in wheelchairs have a much harder life. Do they complain about it? No. We gave them a couple of ramps and kept it pushing. We fucking... Look, some people are gonna think this is an insensitive comparison. I think it's a step in the right direction, personally. I think if we want to head towards trans equality, we fucking start with better parking. You know, it's the least we could do. It's the least we could do. I don't know where we'd put them. We can't assign them anything. God, just joking. Just joking. Okay, relax. Hey, look, if you let it be, this can be the most fun part of the show, okay? If you just have fun for the next 15 minutes, we're all gonna laugh at some things that we don't think we're allowed to laugh at. Like, oh, is it like a naughty thing if I laugh at a joke at a comedy show? Have fun, okay? Do not get sensitive now. Don't fucking sit there and feel like you need to defend the wheelchair community. They can fucking stand up for themselves, okay? God damn it, you guys. Stop being hesitant, okay? Knock it up. People in wheelchairs come to comedy shows all the time. It is incredibly common. And you know what? They are some of the best audience members you could ever ask for. They come, they laugh their asses off. And I'll tell you the reason I believe that to be true. And it's because I think they've gotten themselves to this point of understanding and this positive mindset that no matter the hand you've been dealt in life, no matter how hard things might be for you, if you can learn to find the light in whatever dark situation you're going through, and you can learn to laugh at the things that should make you miserable, including yourself sometimes, that's how you fucking win life. And you are going to be a significantly happier person if you can learn to laugh in the face of adversity. I know this seems harsh, but I have little to no respect for anybody who wakes up every day and makes the decision to live with a victim's negative mentality of, oh, everything's awful, everyone's out to hurt my feelings. Only because that's not fair to you. That's not fair to yourself. Your life is so short and so precious. You deserve to have the best fucking time you possibly can and laugh your way through life and be as happy as you can, no matter your circumstance or no matter what anybody fucking says about you. You deserve that. Have some fun. We're only here for a second. Have some fun, man. And that's why I chose the comparison that I did. A lot of people think it's an insensitive comparison in the beginning, comparing those two groups. But it's because the positive message that I'm trying to put out there, and I want people to remember, is that no matter what you're going through, I would never negate that. But I want you to remember, if you think your life is hard, somebody has it worse. Try to remember that. Be grateful, be happy, and enjoy your time no matter what. And that's what I love about this example, is because if you think about the life of somebody in a wheelchair, that's fucking hard. It's a daily obstacle to overcome to do anything every day. And the fact that they can laugh their way through that, we should all be able to. That's what I have so much respect for the wheelchair community. Is because regardless of what they're going through, people in wheelchairs are never annoying about their situation. Until they're getting on the bus. I don't know how many of y'all have been stuck behind a city bus letting somebody in a wheelchair on, but it is fucking excruciating. You're behind them trying to make that right turn and they're fucking... Put this motherfucker on the bike rack and let's go!
I used to have a story about when my son turned 18, I was gonna punch him in the face. He's 18 now. On his birthday, I got up early. I set my alarm. And I went downstairs and I made myself a good breakfast. And then I heard him getting up. And I go, here we go. It's game time. My heart started racing. My hands got sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. So dumb. Oh, God. And I started giving myself a pep talk. I was like, you can punch him. He's 18. You can do this because you did not spank him, and these are all the spankings that he should have coming to him. And then I heard him coming down the stairs, so I started walking towards the bottom of the staircase, and then he turned the corner, and I just saw a little boy walking towards me. And I was like, you can't punch this little boy. But here's what you can do. You can put a hockey helmet on him and hockey gloves, and then you can put those on as well, and we can go in the backyard and we can locker box. So that's what we did. And I kept hitting him in the shoulder. And he goes, it doesn't even hurt. What are you doing? And I was like, all right, just wait. And then the third round, he could not lift his hands up to protect his face. That's old man knowledge. President style. After we locker boxed, I went inside and I checked my social media, and there were over 1,000 messages asking if I had punched my son in the face. Happy birthday. That's the kind of world we live in, I guess. So I replied to all these messages. I said, no, I couldn't punch him in the face. I didn't think it'd be fair to him. So instead, we went in the backyard and we locker boxed. And then I put my phone away. And then 24 hours later, I checked, and I had a message from a man in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he had replied back to me with a picture of Urban Dictionary's definition of locker box. And I would like to tell you that it is not what I thought. Urban Dictionary's definition of locker box is when you're having sex with someone, you also shove your nuts into them. I mean, where do you even start? Do people do that? And if so, how? How do you do that? The only thing I know about that sexual position is you probably need the lights on. That does not seem like a feel-around job to finish it. Oh my God. So anyways, I sent over 1,000 people a message from my home computer that said, nah, man, I didn't punch him in the face. You know, because that wouldn't be fair. Instead, I brought him in the backyard. And I put my balls up there. For like a week, I was nervous that the green light on my computer was gonna come on the camera, and it would just be the feds like, what else is going on over there, creep? All right.
I was thin, and I had eyebrows. And my husband was so tickled with me that he bought me presents for no reason, no special occasion. I guess you boys know what he was after. He got it. So now, and that was sinful. It was the 80s. So I had a bunch of kids by him and married him, had a bunch of kids, and then now, Lord, we've been married, it'll be 28 years in April. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. I truly believe that he would not pull me out of a burning vehicle. I've had a big week. I've been in Portland, Oregon this week. Yeah, and they're so weird. And the little guy that introduced me did not identify as human. And so he had to introduce me as a wife and mother, and that was hard. But anyway, I've been in Portland, and then I was in Tampa last night. I know, and they were darling. And then I go to Orlando tomorrow night, and then I go home. But anyway, I hope that I can remember what I'm saying, because I've been going and working a lot, and I am in full menopause. I do a podcast called Sweaty and Pissed. Thank you. Thank you, Sweaty and Pissed, Menopause and More. So for instance, Nick, one of the episodes is called Vaginal Dryness. And vaginal dryness and pinto beans. So my nurse practitioner, I do it with her, and she's brilliant. So she talks about the medical part, and I talk about pinto beans. But anyway, she just did my annual, and I'm 54 years old, and she said, Leanne, you got to take that IUD out. It's time. You're old and crusty, and you don't need it anymore. And it hurt my feelings, because I always thought I'd be able to have children as long as I lived, which was crazy, because I'm 54, I'd leave a baby at Target by accident. But anyway, she put on a big headlamp, went in and got it, and then let me borrow it later for a hike. But let me tell y'all, my husband never had a vasectomy, and he said, I'm not going to get one, Leanne, because what if something happens to you? I know, and I need to marry a young woman, and she wants children. And I said, bless her heart. I'll pray for her. Please don't put a tight budget on her like you have me. Okay. My husband and I are empty nesters. These children walked off and left me with their daddy, and he is so not fun. Because he's got to make a living. He's got to make a living, and all that money going out. Everybody's getting their eyebrows waxed and stuff like that. So, and you know, kids walk out of a room, they don't turn the lights out when they leave, and that makes a man a butthole. But it's just me and him, and we've got 2 beagles that we are in love with, and we just sit and kiss them in the mouth. And because we miss these kids so bad. And we let them sleep in the bed with us, these dogs. And they're nasty. He looks smart. Do you do math? I know it, honey. I get it. I dig it. Okay, so I didn't mean to get off on that tangent. Okay, so we get in the bed. We've got 2 beagles. The oldest one is from Ogden, Utah. My husband got him on a business trip and flew out there on a company plane, and the plane needed to be worked on, and so he went to a parking lot and called me and said, there's a man in a parking lot with a box full of beagles, puppies, and I want one of them. And I said, this isn't a good time for me. And he said, it'll be fine, and hung up the phone. But that beagle has been yummy, and he's now 12 years old. He's a little old man, white in the face. I know he's yummy, and my husband worships him. So we get in the bed, and my husband pulls him up to him and spoons him in the bed. And that old beagle looks at me like, I don't want him. I want you. And I say, hold on. And when my husband drifts off to sleep, then that old beagle scooches over and gets in the crook of my legs. All right, and he's a hot, hairy beagle. I'm in full menopause. So menopause, for y'all that haven't gone through it yet, you feel like you're being microwaved from within. And it comes out the top of your head. And it's really bad at night. It's covers off, covers on, covers off, covers on. It makes you bitter. Okay, so anyway, he scooches over and gets in the crook of my leg. So I end up on a king-size bed, about this much room. Then the little beagle, who's a pocket beagle named Gigi, who is yummy, she gets in the bed, turns around several times, backs her little butthole up against my face. And I don't care because I love her. And I just want to sleep, and it's not going to happen. Because when you're in menopause, you don't sleep. And I don't want to get hooked on dope. So I take melatonin, passion flower, GABA, L-theanine, valerian root, and pray to the dear Lord that I can fall asleep. And just when I get in a deep REM, my husband, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know what happens, but he jostles awake, reaches over, and grabs one of my breasts. And it puts me into a blind rage. And I know you boys need that. And that's the way God made y'all. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask him about it. That's how y'all show love. But I say to my husband, I know you want to do it, and I'll do it. I'll do it. But can we do it before 10 o'clock? When I know my name, and I know your name. But I waller in the bed all night. I waller. Do y'all know anybody from Tennessee? Do I need an interpreter? Oh, okay. We say words like waller. We waller dogs and waller babies, and I'm wallering in the bed all night. And then I get up the next morning, and I think, oh, I'm going to clean out a closet. I hadn't slept one bit. This Fitbit says to me, you hadn't slept, girl. Okay, so I go to clean out a closet, and I end up in the driveway, and I don't even know how I got there. Let me tell you boys up here in Naples, y'all, I saw these fancy cars out here. My husband is very, very tight with money. Let me tell y'all that I'm driving a 2009 white Honda Pilot that's got 235,000 miles on it. Last year, lights started coming on saying, get out, Leanne. My husband drives a Tahoe, and the T and A is gone. He is very tight and has been saving for our retirement since he was 26 years old. I know. I hope I can live to enjoy it. But he doesn't like to spend money. So anyway, I need to get a new car, and I've been looking out here in this parking lot. If God forbid something happened to him, I'd go on Weight Watchers and come down here. And even though, Lord, me and my best friend, we've talked about it because I'm 54, she's 55, and we've talked about, Lord, what if we had to get a man? What if we had to get out here and date? I mean, it would cost me $1,000 just for the grooming. I've got something wrong with this toe. Toenail. I need to be on Lamisil. It's thick. Oh, if I had to get out here. She loves her husband, but she said, oh, well, if I had to, I guess I could show somebody my left breast. She said, it looks okay. Oh, y'all, all right, let me tell y'all that I've got 3 children I'm in love with, and I wanted more. And I told their daddy I want a 4th baby, and he said, y'all are sucking the financial life out of me. So he bought me a dachshund. We were living down in Texas, and she was a doll baby, and she lived to be a little old woman, and she had thyroid issues, and so did I. And so we had to get on thyroid medication at the same time, and we both gained a lot of weight. And I was walking her in our neighborhood, and a little girl came out and said, can I pet your groundhog? But anyway, all right. The 3 children I did get to have been a blessing, and I'm in love with them. I've got a boy and 2 girls. And my boy has been so much easier to raise. Who do you think's easier to raise, boys or girls? Just yell it out. Boys. Every once in a while, there'll be a frail little woman yell out, girl. But I think she's being threatened. No, I love my girls. And I know that when I'm in the nursing home, they'll be the ones to come and pluck my chin hairs. But my boy has been so easy. And I got to tell y'all, I think firstborn, they are, they want to please you and that kind of thing. But he was born an old man. Have you known anybody that was born an old soul? He was born an 80-year-old man. He has had a garden since he was in 6th grade. He cans his own food. I know. Yummy. I know. Woodworks. Makes his own spoons. I know. He wanted to learn how to play the banjo and the mountain dulcimer and the mandolin when he was in middle school with khaki breeches on. Okay, that angel from heaven. So we call him our little Billy Graham. He's been very spiritually mature. I did not do it. My husband didn't do it. We're full of sin. But we've been washing the blood. But anyway, so my boy has loved gospel bluegrass. His favorite artist is Dr. Ralph Stanley. Little Dr. Ralph Stanley's no longer with us, but he lived to be in his 90s, and he was the godfather of Mountain Soul. And he came to Knoxville to the Bijou Theater, and I took my boy, he was about 15, and little Dr. Ralph, they propped him up on stage. Had a little cowboy hat propped up on his head. Almost threw my panties at him. Because that's what you do at Tom Jones. But anyway, I was sitting there listening to Dr. Ralph sing a song about a robin laid an egg on Daddy's grave. And I thought, how many teenagers are listening to this? What are teenagers listening to? Walk a Flock of Flame? I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I had to yell at my boy, turn that bluegrass down. If I hear I Saw the Light one more time.